Have you ever felt too small to do something important? Well, let me tell you a story about a boy who showed everyone that God can use anyone, no matter their age. This is the story of 1 Samuel, a powerful book from the Bible that teaches us about listening to God. It all starts with a woman named Hannah. More than anything, she wanted a son. She prayed with all her heart, promising God that if he gave her a child, she would dedicate him to God's service. God heard her prayer and gave her a son, Samuel. True to her word, when Samuel was just a little boy, Hannah brought him to the temple to live and learn under the wise priest, Eli. One night, while everything was quiet and dark in the temple, Samuel heard a voice calling his name. "Samuel, Samuel!" Thinking it was Eli, he ran to him. "Here I am," he said, but Eli hadn't called him. This happened 2 more times. Finally, Eli realized it wasn't him calling, but God himself. He told Samuel, "Go and lie down, and if he calls you, you shall say, 'Speak, Lord, for your servant is listening.'" So Samuel went back to bed. When God called again, Samuel answered just as Eli had taught him. From that day on, Samuel learned to listen to God's voice, and God spoke through him. As Samuel grew up, he became a great prophet and judge for the people of Israel. He shared God's messages and guided them. But the people started to look at other nations and wanted a king just like them. They thought a king would solve all their problems. Samuel warned them that this wasn't God's best plan, but the people insisted. So God told Samuel to anoint a man named Saul to be their very first king. Saul was tall and looked like a king, and at first he did well. But soon his pride got in the way. He stopped listening to God's instructions and started doing things his own way. Because Saul disobeyed, God rejected him as king. This shows us that looking the part isn't enough. What matters is having a heart that obeys God. God then sent Samuel on a secret mission to find the next king. He went to a man named Jesse, who had many strong, impressive sons. Samuel thought for sure one of them would be the new king. But God told him something amazing. God said, "Do not look on his appearance or on the height of his stature, because I have rejected him. For the Lord sees not as man sees. Man looks on the outward appearance, but the Lord looks on the heart." One by one, all of Jesse's older sons passed by, but none were the one. Finally, they called for the youngest son, David, who was out in the fields taking care of the sheep. He was just a young shepherd boy, but God saw his heart. God told Samuel, "Arise, anoint him, for this is the one." And so Samuel anointed David to be the future king of Israel. The story of 1 Samuel is filled with incredible moments, from David's famous battle with the giant Goliath to his deep friendship with Saul's son, Jonathan. Through it all, we see a powerful lesson. God is always at work, and he has a plan. He calls us to listen to his voice just like Samuel did. He asks us to obey him, even when it's hard. And he wants us to trust his plan, knowing that he sees our hearts and chooses us for his amazing purposes. So the next time you feel small or unsure, remember Samuel, the boy who listened, and David, the shepherd who was chosen. Your age doesn't matter, and what other people see doesn't matter. What matters is a heart that's ready to say, "Speak, Lord, for your servant is listening." Thanks for watching. If this story inspired you, please like, share, and subscribe for more stories that bring the Bible to life. See you next time.